to tell me I came out with DeAndre Swift over
That point
Bijan.
where Jordan Davis could, still play the same.
But to tell me I came out with DeAndre Swift over
That point
Bijan.
where Jordan Davis could, still play the same.
Yo, what's going on, everybody, man? King DV Sports, and I'm with my co-host, Smitty. What's going on, bro?
Man, you already know, man. It's Patriots week, man. It's time to figure out, what's behind these enemy lines, man, to see what's really cooking, man. You know what I'm saying? They trying to get a little insight. We trying to get a little insight. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
And we got some guests in the building tonight, man. First things first, man. I'm happy that this guy is here. Let's give a warm welcome to Kendall, man, content creator for the Patriots. What's going on, bro?
Yes, sir, man. Ken's Pats Talk. You can catch me on YouTube, Instagram, my YouTube. My YouTube, I was gonna put it up there, but I see y'all ain't got the display names up here.
Yeah, I'll put the display names up in a second.
Yeah, I will. YouTube, Ken's Pats Talk, Twitter, Ken's Pats Talk, and my IG, Ken's Pats Talk. Man, I appreciate y'all having me on tonight.
Mm-hmm. And then also,
we got my guy. We got my guy Jude, man. You know what I'm saying? A great service to me, man. He done came out 2 times for me, man. What's up with you, bro? How you feeling tonight?
Good. Busy work week, but I had to come through for my guy, so we're running it back.
Yeah, man.
Good. So
I'm trying to get these names up there for these.
Got you.
So this week is Pat's weeks, man. So we trying to we've been looking at each other's roster, probably looking back and forth. What's your talk to Jude? So I'm gonna ask Ken first. Ken, what's your biggest weakness? I know you told me just a minute ago you were a little nervous after looking at the injury report. What about that injury report makes you more nervous?
Well, I say the offensive line, because coming into the game, the offensive line was already weak. And I know we made a couple of trades. We got a guy from the Browns, and we got somebody from the Vikings. And I know we got Cole Strange came back to practice. He should be getting healthy. Trent Brown said, for crying out loud, he's always dealing with something. So, it seems like there's always something right there. So, he was already in this offensive line. They haven't played a full game together yet with this year. Calvin Anderson came. He's back. He's our right tackle, but he just got back early last week or something. So, the line was already shaking coming to the game. Now they're still missing a little bit of time limited. I don't want to panic just yet. I know I said that. I'm going to wait till about Thursday or Friday roll around. With that being a home game, we do get an extra day of practice and rest. So I'm not going to panic just yet. I'm going to wait about late Friday. But definitely we can get that line back, and I'm sure we get into this in a little bit. We definitely got a bandage stick. I feel like we can get those. If in a perfect scenario, I can see Trent Brown being at left tackle, Cole Strange at guard, Andrews at the center, and when he's back off the PUP list, he'll be a right guard, and maybe Calvin Anderson at right tackle. We can get them together. It might take them a couple of series to gel. I think we'd be fine. But and then Devontae Parker's dealing with a knee injury. I don't know when he got hurt. Being that we didn't really practice much last week, so I don't know if it was something that happened during practice. But I think we'll be okay there without Parker because we got some depth there at wide receiver. I'm more so concerned about the offensive line and whatnot. No, I think I seen Jack Jones on the injury report, and it was Jack Jones, Parker, and a couple of the linemen. So just like I said, I'm gonna hold off on Parker. I think we'll be fine there. We got some guys that we got good depth there, but the offensive line, we gotta get those guys back healthy, and they got to gel.
So tell me, what do you think, Jude, about what he just said? You know what I'm saying about? I know you already talked about the offensive line being a little thin. Do you see a situation where you get a healthier line and where they can kind of do something against our defensive line?
Yeah, I mean the primary concern for me the entire offseason has been the offensive line, primarily like the tackle spots. I think things are a bit more fleshed out on the interior with, we know David Andrews is going to be starting at center. We know that if they're healthy, Cole Strange and Michael Longwood will be in a guard. And then we know that Trent Brown has like one of those spots locked down at left tackle, but the right tackle spot has been a big question mark. We brought in Riley Reed. Riley Reed has been mostly playing at guard, but he went on IR, short-term IR to start the season. Calvin Anderson was on the NFI list for most of the preseason, and they finally activated him. He hasn't had much burn, so can we reasonably expect him to start this game, especially against a defense like the Eagles? I don't know. I'm expecting that he probably will be playing, but we also could see a situation where we do see Michael Onwenu on the outside and maybe Antonio Mafi inside at guard as well. That there is a chance of that. As far as the receivers, Devontae Parker's always banged up. That's not an uncommon occurrence at this point. I'm hoping that he plays. We will see. But like I'm sure we'll get into it further, and as we discussed like earlier in the week, I do think we'll be playing like a lot of 12. So if he isn't available to go, I do think we'll be okay. But it's not ideal. But I agree with Ken. It's mostly about the offensive line to me.
Yeah, man, like it's crazy to hear just basically all the injuries or all banged up players that you guys have, and then on the flip side, that the Eagles they sit up there and just have one guy on the injury list, and that's due to illness. You know what I'm saying? And we were thinking, on the flip side, we thought that Nolan Smith wasn't going to be a go, especially after him getting hurt in preseason. We thought that Hassan Reddick was going to be a little iffy or questionable because of his thumb. He wasn't even on the injury list. And that was just like really the two main guys that we were looking at. Our O-line was great. D-line was great. But how do y'all guys feel about the coaching matchup? I never got to that question on Monday. So I'm going to start with Ken. The coaching matchup between us, like Bill O'Brien and Sean Desai versus Sean Desai. How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't know too much about Sean Desai. I've heard some good things about him. I've been watching a few of my Patriots podcasts, and we had a couple of y'all guys on our podcast recently. A couple of Eagles reporters and whatnot. I think Bill O'Brien has a slight edge there because of with his experience. With Houston, with the Penn State in Alabama, and him and Matt Jones. I know they didn't play or coach together, or in the same system together, but they passed through each other at Alabama. Matt Jones helped Bill O'Brien learn the playbook. So I'm gonna give a slight edge to Bill O'Brien and whatnot, because and then of all things, I will say he was formerly with the Patriots years ago when we did have Tom Brady. So it's a similar system back then. Obviously, Bill O'Brien has implemented some new things from Alabama RPO and a few more things. I'm gonna give a slight edge to Bill O'Brien based off what I know. I don't know too much about Sean Desai. I know this year the Eagles do have a new OC and a DC. So that's what I'm saying. I think that gives a little bit of advantage. And then y'all players didn't play much in the preseason or whatnot, whether that was injury related or y'all just wanted to keep them out. Of course, somebody did get hurt. I think I'm gonna give a slight edge to Bill O'Brien with the familiarity that him and Matt Jones has in the system.
You?
So for me, I do give a slight edge to Bill O'Brien. I do think he just has a little bit more experience to decide, but I think Desai is really smart. He has like a PhD, which is interesting. He's also a Boston University alum, which I also am for undergrad.
Okay.
I'm sorry?
I'm saying okay.
Yeah, my bad. I also think he's kind of. I was not a big fan of Jonathan Gannon for you guys last year. I do not like defensive coordinators who kind of just rely on like the talent and play straight up. To me, that is a recipe to get you beat. I do think, besides kind of from like that Fangio tree, I do believe that you guys are doing more like 3-4 looks this season, more base 3-4 than the 4-3. I think he's smart. I think he'll spin the dials on things, spin up some blitzes, and be a little bit more exotic and a bit more unpredictable than Jonathan Gannon was, which I think is a good thing for you guys. But I think, to what Ken said, I do think bringing in Bill O'Brien was really important. I thought we drafted Mac Jones, and we kind of had an offensive system that was so much on guide rails with a lot of play action, a lot of heavy run game, a lot of heavy packages. Even though that he does like to play more out of 11, we went away from that in his second year with like a lot of pure drop back, not as much play action, barely any RPOs. And Mac Jones was an RPO merchant when he was at Alabama. And one of the most encouraging things from the few bits of tape that we got in the preseason was that Bill O'Brien was rolling out some RPO packages for him. I'm looking for an expansion of that. I'm hoping that it works well. I do think, even though Bill O'Brien may not have been the best general manager while he was at Houston, I do think he was a good offensive coordinator and has remained good offensive coordinator. So I give him like a slight edge, but I absolutely think Sean Desai is really good.
I think Bill O'Brien, right? He's a great mind, right? And he understands how the offense for a Bill Belichick should run. But Sean Desai is, to me, not that far of a stretch behind of what he'd be able to do on the defense with the pieces he has. You know what I'm saying? He'll be able to orchestrate some things that'll confuse, Bill O'Brien. Because Bill O'Brien wasn't the best coach when he was in the seat. He hasn't always had a great name. There's a whole organization out there called the Texans who are still struggling from him being in the driver's seat ever. So it's not like, because he's with Bill Belichick, he has to be unbeatable. I think Sean Desai is right in the same category with him, if not even. You know what I'm saying? I don't give Bill O'Brien much leeway or decide much behind. Like, it's been 1 year, where Bill O'Brien didn't call plays last year, neither did Sean Desai. So we both kind of on the seat of who's going to be better the first two quarters is really going to call the game. Like, who can get their feet up under them first, because you have two halves of football. If you can get your feet, under you by the halftime, then, you come out striking in the third and the fourth. But if you're struggling coming into that curve, you know what I'm saying, you might crash. You never know. But I think Sean Desai, with what I seen him have at Chicago to what he has here in Philly, I don't think he's much behind, man. I think it's close.
I think that them keeping it, us keeping it vanilla in the preseason, is telling. It's some things that they don't want to reveal yet, especially with the second and third string. They wanted to do it with the ones first. Get that ball rolling. I really believe that Sean Desai is going to do a lot of disguising. I think that he's going to challenge Mac Jones a lot. But he's just got to be. But yeah, and he has to be very mindful of the run game, though, man. Ramondre is back there, and then if they get in scoring or striking distance, Zeke is going to get some of those carries too, to the point where they're going to try to get into the end zone. So we got to be mindful for everything, cover all bases. But I think Sean Desai is like right there, neck and neck. We haven't seen it on the field yet, but I do think that he could basically, get the best of Bill O'Brien in week one. It depends, because everybody here knows week one games are real funky. It's up and down, it's hit or miss. Even if you're the good team or the team above or the team below, in the spread, you already know it could be crazy. Look at us last year, man. We went to the Super Bowl, but the Lions, who we should have won off of talent on paper alone, we only beat them by 3. So, like I said, week one is kind of crazy. I asked Jude this question on Monday. I'm gonna ask you, Ken, do you believe that Tom Brady retirement of his jersey will light a flame under the Patriots players?
I don't think it'll light a flame. I think it's gonna light like a volcano. I think they're gonna come out fired up. And we get to our predictions here soon, but I think with him having him being back, not just him, I'm hearing Gronk and a lot of players going to be there. Now, at the end of the day, you got to have the talent. You still got to go out there and play. It don't matter who you have. You can have the prejudice. It don't matter who you have out there. But I think with him being there, we renovated our new stadium. What, they got new jumbotron. It's a new field. And after the disaster of the season last year, everybody gets a clean start. Matt Jones wants to prove the doubters wrong, because he has a lot of doubters. The defense, I think we're younger, we're deeper, more flexible on defense. I love the draft, the Chris Gonzalez pick and all that. I think with all that and Brady being there, and with it being week one, because if you look at our past couple week one games, we got to slow starts. We could have beat Miami last year. A couple crazy calls went their way. Year before that, Damon Harris fumbled in the red zone. We could have won that year. We've gotten off to quick starts in the games, but it's always something that held us back or whatnot. So we haven't really played awful in the past week one games. But I feel like, this year it just feels different. It's a different feeling about this team. By me covering, doing a podcast, I'm already a content creator on the Patriots. Like this year just feels different. Eagles are coming off a Super Bowl loss. The myth of the Super Bowl hangover, I do believe it is true. I believe it's real. Because teams just don't. And then the fact that y'all haven't played y'all played in the offseason, but y'all haven't played this preseason. New coordinators and things like that. And then nobody's picking the Patriots this week. Let's just be honest. Nobody's gonna pick New England to win. Everybody, because they're judging off of last year and the offseason moves and it's projections. Nobody's gonna pick New England. You're gonna watch the TV show. Nobody's gonna pick us. We're gonna do our predictions here soon or whatnot. Like I just feel like it just feels different. This game is something about it. It feels different. But I do think with Brady being there, it's gonna light it up. And I don't know if they're doing it before, after, or during the game or before, or whatever. But it really don't even matter. I just feel like him being there and former Patriot players and his family's gonna be there. It's gonna light up. It's gonna fuel this team, and they're gonna get this. I think they just got to they're gonna get it. It's gonna be a good performance. I really believe. I like what I'm hearing. I know I seen the injury report earlier, but I like the vibe and I like what I'm hearing on my side of it. I just like what I'm hearing.
Poured up to me by another content creator, Eagles content creator, that basically, y'all gonna have that volcano, like you said, but we got some dogs over here that's hungry,
yes,
especially after tasting.
Y'all deep on that deal.
And especially tasting the Super Bowl and coming away with an L. And we want to get back there. So, hey, man, if we taking it week by week like we did last season, and we already know it's a tough road ahead after the bye. So we want to get as many wins before the bye week, and y'all are the first week opponent to the point where they just happy to be on the field, man. Even our rookies, man. Nolan Smith came out today and basically said that he's playing. So, like I said, he injured his shoulder and he wants to play. He wants to hit somebody. So I just think that, with us having the dogs and that energy and y'all having the energy, just having, y'all legacy there, I think it's going to be a good game. But, both sides can see the points on why their team will win. But at the end of the day, I just think it's going to be a good first week game for both teams. And I think that, basically we're going to come out victorious. I'm going to just come out and say that. But it's not going to be as easy as everybody thinks. It's not going to be as easy.
You can see y'all getting off to like a slow start or something like that.
Yeah, we always, like, we're the Eagles. We start out rusty. Every Eagles fan know that. We start out rusty in the first, probably first two drives, and then after that we start clicking. We start picking it up. Our defense.
See what I said earlier?
Our defense will probably hold us. Our defense will probably hold us. But then when the offense start to roll, it's going to roll. It's going to roll.
I hope it's not the other way though, BB.
But
I hope our offense, don't start fast and the defense starts slow and we end up in one of those nasty shootouts.
Yeah. But yeah, I just think that, overall, I just think this is going to be not a telling game, but you can see the path that both teams are going to go after this game. Yeah. Because you got a good coach in Belichick. You already know what you're going to be dealing with. Some heavy pressures. He's going to throw everything but the kitchen sink at Jalen Hurts. And then we got to see, Brian Johnson. Everybody keeps saying we got a new OC, but he's been in the locker rooms with us, man. In the Super Bowl run, he's been there. Now he gets to go one-on-one with his guy Jalen Hurts. I really believe that's going to be comfortable. If they get comfortable, it's going to get nasty. It's really going to get nasty for the league. But I don't look at him as a new OC. I just look at him as, it was just well-deserved at the moment. It was presented to him. He's not a new OC. He's been in this situation before. So I think that, go ahead. Go ahead, bro.
Go ahead, DB. Finish.
How do you?
No.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. How do you guys feel about the wide receiver matchup from y'all Devontae Smith, AJ Brown? I think y'all slot is it Quez Watkins or Zakiya is one of them. But
Both of them, they be splitting.
Okay, how do y'all feel about that going up against that tough Patriots secondary? We did draft Christian Gonzalez in the first round. Jack Jones just got cleared. I think there was a cloud lifted over him. Really good player. He's kind of like a Trayvon D. I know y'all don't like hearing that. Well, y'all probably do like hearing that. With y'all being Eagles fan, y'all don't like the Cowboys, but he's kind of like he gambles a little bit. But I think Jack Jones, if he can keep his head in the game, he could be a good player. I don't think he's gonna start. I think it's gonna be Christian Gonzalez and Jonathan Jones, maybe Marcus Jones. I hope not Miles Bryant in the slot. But I think if we can, I can't wait to see the Christian Gonzalez matchup. I don't know who he's going to take. And, I mean, he's a rookie, so I don't know who we might just. I don't know how we go. I don't think we just throw him out there in the fire, even with him being a first round pick. So I don't know. I'm gonna be into those are the matchups I'm looking forward to seeing. And then on our offense with Juju Smith-Schuster, Kendrick Bourne, we got a couple of rookies playing. Hopefully Devontae Parker's out there. I think Slay probably had to take Parker. Bradbury on Juju. We saw how that was in the Super Bowl, whatnot. And I'm sure he really gonna have something to do with that during the game. But I just think, like, basically from y'all, I cannot wait to see y'all receivers going up against my secondary, because we got, like y'all just said, we got to schedule the first month of the season too. So we got we got Dallas coming up, the Jets, Miami. So it's good. It's big that we get out to a quick start as well. But I just want to know, how do y'all feel about AJ Brown, Devontae Smith going up against that tough Patriot secondary, and what Bill Belichick can throw out there from a defensive perspective?
Okay,
you want to go first, bro?
Yeah, I go first. So after watching last year, you know what I'm saying, looking at AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, I think we've seen every coverage you could bring. You know what I'm saying? In the Pittsburgh game, you know, as I was telling Jude, they tried to bracket AJ Brown. He had 6 catches, 156 yards, 3 touchdowns. In the week 3 game at Washington, they tried to do the exact same thing on the other side to Devontae Smith. He had 7 catches for 166 yards and 2 touchdowns. So you're gonna have to pick your poison. The problem with it is you named the wrong receiver when you said receiver 3. It's Dallas Goedert. Our offense runs through AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert. Quez Watkins will be the last target that you have to worry about when it comes to game plan. We're gonna put Goddard in a lot of situations because we know you're gonna wanna take away those 2 outside receivers. Dallas Goedert is one of those guys like Travis Kelce
But you know, you can't stop, not to cut y'all, you know, you can't stop everybody. You ain't but 11 players on the field. So you're gonna have to, if you take away Devontae and AJ Brown and try to
There's no way to take away both.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
just talking hypothetically. You take away both of them. Yeah, somebody you got to live with. Just like you take away AJ Brown and put a safety on top of Goddard, take them 2 away. Or it might be down in the distance thing. Okay, on second down, on third down, we're gonna take away Goddard. On second and long, we're gonna take. Belichick always has.
Then what do you do about DeAndre Swift and Kenny Gainwell? They eating up your flats, or they running wheel routes against your outside linebacker
right, which
one-on-one.
Bring me back to my original point. You can't take away everything, so you're gonna have to live with something. But everybody ain't gonna be able to eat, but you have to live with.
And
something.
I don't think your secondary is as highly as you think it is. You have a rookie out there. He has 0 stats in the NFL. If you put him out there on the island against Smith or Brown, the boy Boots is gonna be somewhere in the stands, man. He's gonna be looking a way out of Foxborough.
I think the secondary is fine. I think the secondary is good enough. I do.
They good, but I think putting them anywhere one-on-one with any one of those. I like the Jones boy.
I think the one-on-one thing isn't really like a thing as like someone like people think. I think a lot of that is like you might see some one-on-one like underneath, but there's zone on top. There's bracket coverage. There's a whole bunch of things. I really think when you look at the Patriots secondary, you really got to look at it as the sum of its parts, as a whole, rather than a sum of its parts. If you're putting it down to one person, that's not really like how it works. It's kind of more of there's a lot of passing off. There's guys who are dropping deep. There's guys who are coming down. Like, it's a lot of movement. I do think that the Patriots are most likely going to be doing a lot of single high in this game. I did some further review just because I had a bit more time. Some man coverage. Teams have actually done fairly well against the Eagles statistically when they're doing a lot of like single high and man. Works a little bit. It's all backed up by facts.
AJ Brown last year against single high was the number one receiver and number one in touchdowns.
I understand. AJ Brown on his own. I'm talking about the offense as a whole because it gives you a little bit more. It gives you a little bit more bulk.
1,000 yards in single high.
It gives you a little bit more bulk up front. You're gonna get beat, but that's just how it is. You might give up some more stuff over the top, and it might make you a little bit more solid versus the run. You might get more third down and longs that you want to see. I also think the Patriots do match up fairly well in terms of having very secondary where we do have a lot of safeties who can do a lot of different things, so we can put them on the field and still play the run. I do think the Eagles are a tough nut to crack. I do think the Eagles do have the better personnel in this matchup, but I actually do think that the Patriots match up fairly well outside of that interior defensive line. I think everything else matches up fairly well, but I do think where the rubber will meet the road is that offensive line versus like the Patriots defensive line, especially in the run. I don't really think it's going to be as much the pass as I do think the Eagles are going to try to run us up out the club. That's what I think what the matchup really is.
If you guys think that Christian Gonzalez will be okay on either 1A or no, listen, 1A or 1B, y'all gotta be kidding me, man. Y'all better put him in a slot, or y'all better make him guard either Alameda Zacchaeus or Quez, try to keep up with him. I know he's more of a physical type of, cornerback, but we got some weapons, man. And then all of a sudden, you bring in a DeAndre Swift that can open up the playbook for a Jalen Hurts, whereas though down now, y'all not just worried about these guys. You're worried about the guy in the backfield too. Even though y'all linebackers is going to be worried about Jalen Hurts, he's going to play off a Judon. He's going to play off of these guys. So now it's like it's a game of chess. And 9 times out of 10, y'all going to focus on Jalen Hurts more than Jalen Hurts is going to focus on y'all because we got so many weapons. So many weapons. On top of that, the O-line is A1. The O-line is A1. So now we got a lot of time to get it together. Y'all going to get tired. Y'all going to get so tired to the point where now, hold on, wait. Because I'm going to go to the other point, because they commenting about it. I want to go to that point too. But it's too many weapons for Christian Gonzalez, and I'm happy that the dude got off. He got acquitted. He was good. So I'm happy he get to play football, man. But at the same time, man, this is not his week. This is not his week. Now flip it to y'all receivers. You said TikTok boy. You said who's the other receivers?
Parker Bourne.
No, because he flipped it when he said it. So I was trying to flip it down. But you got these guys and everything. Do you know we have a guy named James Bradbury and Darius Slay? Yes, they up there in age, but these guys were the best duo cornerbacks in the league. The corner boys is what we call them. Shout out to Miss Ash. But we basically got a 1A and 1B in cornerbacks too. On top of that, Avonte Maddox is healthy. He's healthy. Reed Blankenship is no slouch in the safety. And then whoever they decide to start next to him, we already know what they can do. And we're going to sit up there and play that type of defense, especially because Ramondre is going to take off some of the slack off of Mac Jones. Mac Jones is not going to be able to have that much time with all this defensive rush at him. You got too many guys. Hassan Reddick, Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham. Should I continue? You got so many guys that to the point where we're not really, I'm not saying we're not concerned because it's like I said, it's week 1, but like the talent wise, the scheme wise, who we have out there, it's just unmatched. And for y'all to sit up there and say that y'all think y'all match well, I just don't see it.
Well, we all are entitled to our own opinions, and
I got a question. Who's your deep threat?
Me?
Yeah, right.
We don't have a deep threat. We don't have it. Taquan Thornton was supposed to be in that, but he's on IR. We don't have a deep threat. But which brings me back.
Hold on. Would you say this though? I got a question. Hold on. Would you say you playing the underneath game plays more into the side getting his feet under him than us being able to play the long game?
Repeat that.
You're gonna have to play the underneath game. You know, the short game, running, getting the ball out, 2-3 second passes, shoot here, there. Doesn't that play more into us being able to consistently get off the field instead of us attacking your rookie?
It does, but at the end of the day, it still comes down to execution. It comes down to execution and scheming things up from my offensive perspective. I know y'all have Bradbury, Slay, and Maddox, and Edmonds back there, Blankenship, but it still comes down to execution. We can sit there and talk, go back and forth all day about who we got, who y'all got. It comes down to coaching, going out to execute. Because we won't be out there playing what they will. It comes out. That's what it comes down to, execution. I mean, it comes out to scheming up and just executing. Now, if the Eagles play their best, Patriots play their best, certainly Eagles have the better personnel than the Patriots. But at the end of the day, it comes down to execute. You don't know, it's things that happen during the game. Just take y'all offense for instance, going up against our defense. Y'all saying, I didn't say Christian Gonzalez a lot, that AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. I said I like the matchup. But it comes from things like batted balls, penalties. I think what's y'all right tackle? Is it Lane Johnson? No, Jurgens. Y'all got to guard Jurgens and whatnot. It comes down to we don't know how these guys are going to play when it comes Sunday. At the end of the day, it comes down. Yeah, y'all have the better play. You are 100% correct. I'm not talking about that. At the end of the day, it comes down to execution. That's what it comes down to. And if we can scheme up something on defense, if we can scheme up something on offense, or whoever plays the best that day and executes the best, no matter who's on the other side, if they execute, that's the team that's gonna come out on top. It comes down to one team game plan against another team, and that's what it comes down to. But yeah, you're right. If y'all play your best, we play our best, and if y'all coach your asses off, like the Eagles have a great coaching staff and things like that, Eagles should win. The game shouldn't even be close. If y'all come out and play y'all best. But I'm just going off of how I feel and what I know. Like at the end of the day, it comes down to execution. And if we scheme up things on offense, I'm less worried about my defense, more worried about my offense. If we scheme up things and we execute, I think we'd be in a good position. I do believe that. That's the name of the game. It comes down to execution. You can have everybody out there. It just comes down to execution.
Execution, I mean, is definitely obviously like something that needs to happen, and it's at a premium. And we can talk about like the stars all day long. Unfortunately, that's not how football works. It's not how it works. When you're especially offensively, more often than not, you're looking for the path of least resistance. I'm not particularly focused on like the matchups with the receivers with the corners outside. Why would I do that? They're very good. If I'm playing the Eagles and I'm the Patriots and I have the personnel that I have, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get 2 tight ends on the field. I'm going to try to run the football as best I can, and I'm going to try to get the Eagles to match in either base or nickel. And once they match in base or nickel, I'm going to try to go after those linebackers in space. I'm going to go after the middle of the field. I mean, talking about Slay and Bradbury is great. Like, that's awesome. Why would they throw at them? I would throw at those linebackers. They signed Mike Gesicki for a reason. We don't necessarily have a deep threat, but if the Patriots are able to run the ball, get a good play action going, they probably will take deep shots. They'll take shots, plays up the seam with Gesicki against those linebackers. Do I think it's going to turn out? I don't necessarily think we're going to win, but I don't really think that the matchup is about Bradbury or Slay much at all. I don't really see them being as factors. They're going to go after your linebackers.
I know another thing too. I know we talking about the matchup and the stars and stuff. I mean, not to bring it back up, but we did what we all watched the Super Bowl and whatnot. And the Chiefs' offensive line was okay. It was good. I didn't feel it was great, but that Eagles pass. I don't know if they had a bad.
Come on, Ken. Let's skip that, bro. Come on, bro.
No, let him talk.
I don't want to go back through this, bro. Come on, bro. We all play the same game.
I didn't want to do it either, but hold on a minute. Listen, hear me out. Bring it to a point.
It's 2023, bro. We ain't talking about the Super Bowl.
Chiefs' offensive line was good. I don't feel it was great. That Eagles defensive line got those same players they got right now. Y'all lost Hargrove and y'all gained Cam Smith, Nolan Smith and Jalen Carter, whatnot. But y'all still was stacked last year on that defensive line. And y'all couldn't even put no pressure at all really on Mahomes. I heard all this stuff about the turf.
You can go look at it. It ain't hurt. It's a fact. Even the man that wanted the grass came out and said he apologized. He said he made a mistake.
I understand. I'm sorry to hear all that. I understand that. But
you talk about something this Patriots, Eagles. None to do with the Chiefs.
No. I
got nothing to do with the Chiefs. It's a new defensive coordinator. We ain't gonna even be running the same type of way.
I understand that, brother.
We talking about two different things.
Hey, y'all made the point about y'all stars against our offensive line and things like that from a pass rush perspective. I'm saying, like, the prime example, everybody before that game thought that the Eagles were going to win that game, get the Chiefs, and they're going to get after Patrick Mahomes. Game started, y'all couldn't even sneak, didn't get nowhere near, which brings me to my point for Sunday. Similar or whatnot. Everybody think, oh, the Patriots offensive line weak. Eagles go 6-7 deep at D-line. We don't know how it's going to play out because we all thought the same was going to happen in the Super Bowl. It didn't happen. So just bring back to the point. It all comes down to execution.
Patriots, Eagles, week 1, 20.
No, he's
Super Bowl.
Bro.
I don't want to talk about the Super Bowl, bro. Just like I don't want to talk about the Cowboys and none of that.
He's not talking. No. Listen, he's basically using it as his logic behind. You can have the stars out there. That's what he's using it for. It was just, of course you're going to still break up the Super Bowl. It's still fresh in everybody's mind. That was just in February. What I'm saying is, bro. Nobody
offense from last year. They had Matt Patricia. I mean, I could bring up how horrible they looked at last year. That'd be crazy.
Yo, look.
That's fine though. We had Matt Patricia last year.
Here's what it is. Here's what it is. For one, I don't agree with that. That KC offensive line wasn't great. It was definitely great. It's probably one of the 5 or 6 best offensive lines in football, especially in that interior. The only thing that's really relevant from that Super Bowl is pretty much what I just told you. In that Super Bowl, the Chiefs were running a lot of 12 and a lot of 13, and you guys were matching a nickel, and they were running you guys up out the club, and they were able to get beyond that, they were throwing the quick passes to the middle of the field because you concede the short in the middle areas of the field. That is what you guys do. That's the weak point. Can the Patriots capitalize on that? Maybe. I definitely don't think we're going to be able to do it to the same point, to the same level that the Kansas City Chiefs were able to do it, because they're the best offense in the league with the best quarterback in the league. But if there is any area that you would attack, it's there. You're not going to throw outside. You're not going to come out with a whole bunch of wide receivers trying to chuck it all over the place. You're going to go heavy. You're going to try to run the football. You're going to try to flow the football to the short areas of the field. That is what the Patriots are going to do. No offense. I'm straight. I'm sorry. I just get to the matchups.
No, I got you.
All that other stuff. I
got you. But let's just say y'all do try to attack the middle of the field, man. Nobody really knows too much about these guys that we have in Nakobe Dean and Zach Cunningham. So we don't know, because Zach Cunningham has been injured, right? Nakobe Dean, he didn't really start. He was on the special teams majority of the season, except for probably a couple games. He did see the field, but now he's a green dot. Whereas though that now he's calling out plays, doing things like that. Do you really believe that they won't be able to adjust to y'all tight end schemes or your running game? Like if that's y'all perspective,
I don't know.
I know.
At all. I think what I'm saying is I think that's the best path forward. If I'm sitting there and I'm game planning what I'm going to do against the Eagles, and I'm looking at the personnel that you have, I'm looking at that defensive strengths. Am I going to sit there, especially with the personnel that I have, am I going to sit there and go after Darius Slay and James Bradbury? No. Am I going to sit there and try to do long developing pass plays with that Eagles pass rush? No. I'm going to try to see if I can run the football and get you guys into base and see how those linebackers do when they have to play in coverage, because everything else seems pretty good. I don't necessarily think that's going to be a path to them scoring a bunch of touchdowns. I don't think that's going to be a path to them winning, but I do think that's their best path to moving the football down the field at the best way that they can. You see what I'm saying? that's the best chance that they have. I'm not saying it's necessarily going to work, but if I'm looking at that Eagles defense based on the personnel that I have, that's what I would do.
Okay, hold on. Ken, the reason I didn't want to talk about the Super Bowl, Jonathan Gannon is a nimbusole. He didn't adjust. And any guy you watch that gets a good quarterback on the 3-yard line and he calls a zero blitz, after that, his knowledge of being a defensive coordinator for me is out of the window. You don't do things like that. And he didn't adjust. We have a guy that's been under 2 great defensive coaches, Pete Carroll, Vic Fangio. Desai has a different scheme. He's not just bringing the D-line like Jonathan Gannon lived off last year when he was only blitzing 4. If you go back and watch our preseason games, he bringing pressure from everywhere. He's not the same simple-minded. See, Jonathan Gannon, he is a part of the Vic Fangio scheme, but it's by choice. He opened the book, he looked at some videos, he read some things, he liked the scheme, he stuck with it. He's not really locked in on what the scheme is supposed to do and execute at. Desai was there with Vic Fangio. He has hands-on knowledge of what the defense is supposed to do, how it functions when it's at its best. So when you brought up the Super Bowl, the reason I'm saying I didn't want to talk about it is because that's a totally different operation than what we're doing now. You're going to see people on the field last year. Jonathan Gannon wasn't moving linebackers in and out. He wasn't bringing three safety sets. We've been doing all that. We've been bringing in and putting Nolan Smith standing up with all our linemen still on the ground. We still got 5 linemen, and we got Nolan Smith still blitzing with Nakobe Dean in the middle by himself. We got different scheme, even though the execution of the scheme is going to be better. It still does the same thing, but Jonathan Gannon didn't know how to use it. He left the middle of the field open a lot. He did do that, but it was also for him not putting people in the greatest position. A lot of those interceptions we seen from CJ last year was CJ just being instinctive, but he wasn't. If you go look at a lot of those interceptions, he coming down full speed, making up 20, 30 yards because Jonathan Gannon got everybody off the ball. He not playing no man. He not playing nothing but cover 2 zone. And he leaving the middle of the field, however you do it. And if you don't get there with pressure, we kill. Sean is going to bring a new emphasis of what this defense is about, and that's why I don't want to compare anything from 22 to 23. That's me personally.
Good point. Well, hey, that's why they play the game. So we'll see Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I thought Jonathan Gannon was horrible when I was breaking down the Super Bowl matchup. I said Gannon's probably going to cost you guys the Super Bowl because I really saw it, especially by like the second half when Andy Reid made his like adjustments and Gannon wouldn't. I was like, they're going to be done for. But again, it's not necessarily about it being like the same thing. Darius Slay is proven. James Bradbury is proven. That pass rush is proven. The only real chance, the only really unknown quantity is those linebackers. So it's like, if you're looking for the path of least resistance, those linebackers are the most likely path of least resistance. And the best way to get more linebackers on the field is getting as many tight ends on the field as you can and being able to run and throw out of heavy packages. How successful it's going to be, I don't know. But that's Jude.
The reason I was saying it. I think Sean Desai, if he sees a weakness in those linebackers, he's not afraid to be like, hey, Terrell Evans, we finna go to this 3 safety set. I need you to play the middle of the field for these tight ends. I need you to come in. He's been doing it. You know what I'm saying? Last year, Jonathan Gannon, if the linebackers gave up 300 yards, he wouldn't adjust.
He just played straight up. He didn't adjust.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. That's my only thing.
That's what we're gonna do.
I think Sean Desai will bring a Terrell Evans in the box to play a little bit more of that rover in the box type deal where he playing more of the check down tight end who looking for the spot in the zone is what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I think the Patriots defense will be doing something similar where we're going to be bringing a lot of safeties onto the field. Who can cover tight ends, running backs, sometimes receivers in space. They're just going to be a little bit like a kind of like passing off duties as best they can. But yeah, I agree. I thought that Desai bringing him in was a great move.
I think I hear a lot about the run game too, DV. Right? I know a lot of people ain't sold on Jordan Davis, but you know where I stand with this Jordan Davis. If Jordan Davis looks like on Sunday anything I think he gonna be, we're gonna be finding out what kind of game plan they have for Mac Jones. Because I think he could take away the run game, bro. I've been last year. I couldn't really say nothing. He got hurt. I was high last year off the rookie season. I think this year, bro, if he can get, you know what I'm saying, to moving and really get in the backfield and start disrupting the game and making them having to get into that pass game, it could get. Now that's when I can see it getting ugly. If Jordan Davis lives up to what I think he's gonna be. If he in the wrecking shop, he in there tearing things up, and they having to get in those third and longs a lot of the game, second and longs too.
Is he your starting D tackle or rotating D tackle, Jordan?
Starting D tackle.
So he's gonna start probably beside Carter.
No, he's starting next to
Cox.
But then Fletch is probably gonna be first man off the field. It's probably Jalen Carter in next.
Yeah.
And then when Jordan come off, it's probably gonna be Milton Williams.
Like I said, but y'all deep on that D line, man. I think we didn't even mention. I think Barnett asked for a trade or something a couple weeks ago. Y'all, and I've always been a fan out of Barnett.
You got half a peanut butter jelly sandwich and some hot milk. You can have them. I mean,
but y'all deep on that D line. You got Sweat, Carter, Davis, Smith. I'm forgetting about Graham. I mean, y'all got a lot of guys. So that, like I said, that's y'all clearly got an advantage there over our passed up offensive line. But like I said, man, comes down to execution, and that's why they play the game. So we'll see.
Yeah, and for people that saying that all we got to do is stop Zeke, like don't sleep on Ramondre, man. Like,
that's what I said. I don't think Zeke is even a factor like that, man.
Don't sleep on him, man. But yeah, I agree. I think if we stop the run game and put the ball in Mac Jones' hand, I really believe that he's not going to have too much time.
Straight up, they can't run the football.
That's what I'm saying.
Run the football on Sunday, they cook. It's a wrap.
That's what I'm saying.
Which guys on your offensive line right now are new?
Are who?
Are new.
Just the right tackle.
Technically, only the right tackle position.
Okay. But how many starters are out then? If that makes more
no
sense.
starters out.
We would be returning 4 out of 5 starters from last year.
Okay.
Yeah, because Raleigh was supposed to start, right? Raleigh.
I'm not necessarily sure that he was because he was mostly playing at guard, and Onwenu is one of the best guards in football. And then Cole Strange is our first-round draft pick. He was a little bit up and down, but he improved as the year went on. So those spots were kind of locked out. So I wasn't really sure what the deal was there. That was kind of a thing where we were trying to figure out during the offseason what's the offensive line configuration. Were they going to kick Michael Onwenu out to right tackle? We weren't sure. We haven't really seen it. For some reason, Bill's been a bit resistant to it. So I don't know. we haven't really seen our starting offensive line all offseason. They didn't play together during the preseason. So on Sunday is pretty much where we're going to get a look as to what that will look like.
Mm-hmm. If y'all had to
somebody
grade,
in the comments asked the question.
Yeah, I was about to go towards that.
Okay.
If y'all had to grade y'all O-line, what would y'all grade them and and why?
Man, what I see in the preseason, I give it a D. But I know it's tough to grade because none of the guys haven't played together. But just projected how we just talked about it. Trent, Strange, Andrews, Onwenu, and probably Anderson. I think it can be good. I believe it can be good if they play well and they I think it could be good. Give it like a B minus. I think it could be good.
I give them a C. I do think a lot of the offensive line issues was because Matt Patricia was also coaching the offensive line at the same time he was our offensive coordinator. He's the first time for both. I do think they're a bit better up the middle than they are on the edges. Trent Brown has had years where he's been really, really good. Last year was just really rough. I think he will improve this year. Hopefully he's healthier this year. That right tackle spot, I just don't know what's going on there. But the way they built things out was they wanted the interior to be stronger because of Mac Jones not really being able to give you much like outside of the pocket. They really wanted to keep that interior pocket so he'd have some points to like step up to make his throws. We'll see. I do, but I also do think it's a situation where they're probably going to come out in like heavier packages. But I do think Pharaoh Brown will probably be playing like a lot because he's a better inline blocker than.
Yeah, I was just about to mention. I forgot we did pick him up.
Yeah, so I think you'll see some like two. You'll see like a lot of like 12 and maybe some motion. Maybe turn one of those guys like into like a lead blocker and really try to get going downhill as best they can. Maybe up the gut.
Okay, so if you you said I've been looking at y'all line. I'm gonna give them like a. I think I agree with you, like a C. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's because of the depth too. Like I seen a lot of offensive line on your depth chart, and I was talking to Jude about it on Monday. Like when I seen that, I was like, who keeps this many offensive linemen if they're confident in their offensive line? So it has to be. I don't think right tackle is gonna be that bad, but I think we're gonna test out a little bit.
And then when you got one tackle spot missing, you can kind of work around that. When you have two, then that's a problem. If you got one right tackle that you're kind of unsure about, or one offensive line spot, you can work around it. You can scheme around that. So I'm not too worried about that. Like I said, if they all, I would have given it a B+ if they would have got some time in the preseason and they weren't so banged up. But the fact we making trades a week before the daggone opener, that was a kind of alarming there. Like I said, they could have gelled and training camp together and the preseason game against Green Bay, they could have gelled in. I'll probably give them a B because I think on paper it's a pretty good line. Just got to see them. And I mean, the first month of the season, we're gonna know. We ain't gonna have to wait till the end of the year to find out how good the team is or the offensive line. We got y'all front, then we got Miami, then we got to go to New York, then we got Dallas. Got Dallas front. So we're gonna know quick how strong that line is.
Well, Kendall, with both of y'all saying y'all come out in 12 personnel, I gotta say it gotta be some type of hesitancy in the offensive line.
It does. It does because
both of y'all have agreed to it, right? 12.
Yes and no. I think one of the easiest paths to being able to throw the football well is getting defenses to match in base or nickel. You want as many linebackers on the field as possible so that you can throw at them. The easiest way to do that is to come out in heavier packages because they need heavier personnel on the field to counter the run game. We don't really have the wide receivers where you're reasonably going to be able to stretch the field and see like two high looks, especially without Tyquan Thornton out there. You don't. When Tyquan Thornton is out there, we tend to see like a lot of like single high. If we're going to see a lot of single high, you want as many linebackers on the field as possible to force them to play in space. So I don't necessarily look at it as like an indicator of the offensive line. It's more of we don't necessarily have the offensive skill players to dictate personnel as much. So you're just going to go you're just going to go heavy and you're going to try to throw out a heavy packages, which is like the meta around the league right now.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is we ain't going to be bringing linebackers in. It's going to be safeties. Because I don't think you're putting Christian Ellis in to cover nobody.
If it's safeties, the Patriots better be able to run the ball with safeties on the field. If they can't, they're cooked. Simple as that.
I like Terrell Evans in the run game, not in the pass game though. Him in the run game though, I think he'll be.
Hey, run game, he'd be great. He'd be great.
Football is about especially offensively. You just want to make somebody wrong. If you don't have like that premium player, you want to make them wrong. So it's like if you're matching with a nickel backer instead of like a linebacker, then you better be able to run that football out of that heavy package. If they're matching with a heavier linebacker instead of like that other secondary player, you better be able to throw. Simple as that. If you can't do it, you're gonna lose.
So, what do you guys think would be your weakness to the point where we could exploit?
A weakness that y'all can exploit?
Mm-hmm. On for our offense versus y'all defense.
Okay, all y'all offense are good.
I got an answer for you if you need to think.
Huh?
I got an answer in the tuck if you need to think.
Yeah, I'm gonna say. I know I talked about AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, but I think, like I said, I think they match up good there. Smitty brought up a good point. Dallas got it. Cal Duggar is a good safety. He's gonna get paid soon. Maybe this year, maybe next year. He's a free agent this year. He gets me a little worried about when he covering tight. I don't like him covering tight ends a lot. So I think if we take away Brown and Smith, he made a great point there about that. I forgot all about Dallas Card. He's a good tight. I think God is underrated. He don't get a lot of credit. I do think he's underrated. But I think Duggar, and then we got former Philadelphia Eagle Jalen Mills. Now, if Duggar can match up good, I'm not gonna say take away Dallas Goddard. I feel good about our chances. But Dallas got Duggar because he struggled against Gesicki a couple times. We got Gesicki now. You know, Gesicki hit from Miami, but Duggar against tight ends, he doesn't match up well sometimes. He has his games, man. So right there, that tight end, and we got a lot of hybrid safety that we play as linebacker. So that's gonna be an interesting matchup. But that right there, y'all offense get our defense. I'm gonna go Duggar covering those tight ends. I'm kind of I don't know about that one.
Okay, Jude.
For me, the biggest problem is the interior defensive line, especially like against the run. Godshaw did all right, but a lot of what the Patriots are able to do up front requires Bentley to come downhill and to kind of take on a guard. And when it comes to figuring out like the run fits, that just makes it a bit more difficult. So I think especially like if you're like you guys are in like 11 with like maybe like 3 wide receivers on there, I don't know how like those run fits are going to look. I think you guys are going to be able to run the football really well. That is the big problem for me, and probably like the number one problem for me. I feel like that run game is going to be hitting pretty well and keep you guys on schedule like all game long. I'm curious as to whether or not you guys are going to pull out like a lot of 12. I don't really think that you need to be perfectly honest. I think you guys, even though I think you guys were both top 10 pretty much in 12 or 11. You ran a little bit better in 11. You passed a little bit better out of 12. But I really feel like you guys are going to run the football really well, keep it easy, not have to put Hurts into too many passing situations. I honestly think you're just going to run that ball, grind down that clock, and keep it moving, personally.
And also, real quick, we have struggled with running with dual quarterbacks in the past. So Jalen Hurts, keeping him in that pocket now. The past couple drafts, we kind of drafted to kind of show up that problem. I think last year we was okay. Lamar Jackson killed us that game. But I want to see
And
Marty
Justin
Mapu
Fields too.
huh?
Justin Fields. Justin
Yeah,
Fields
yeah, yeah.
also. I was looking at
Monday
that
Night
team.
Football. We got Marty Mapu. Don't know if it's gonna be a linebacker safety. We got some Mac Wilson. I feel like we're faster down in the middle of the field. Now you might give up some in the run game or whatnot, the straight up run with Swift and the guys y'all got. But I feel like we faster now. We're more versatile there, and we can match up a little bit. The last couple of years we've drafted that kind of take away those dual threat quarterbacks. So way to see. There's no other way to figure out than the first game against Jalen Hurts because we know he won't. He can throw it from the pocket, but you much rather him doing that than you can't have him beat you both ways, running and throwing. So you got to take away something. I think we can keep him in the pocket, make him a pocket passer. We got a good chance of winning the game and whatnot. And I just want to see how we do containing him from one. I want to see how we contain him because we have struggled against these dual threat court. Josh Allen, we see him twice a year, and he's given us fits. I felt like last year we did a little better job, especially in the first meeting. But just want to see how we do there containing these dual quarterback because they have really stressed us the past couple of years. But like I said, last couple of years we drafted well to kind of stop that. So we'll see on week 1.
I know I laugh, but I hear that so much, bro. It's like everybody say make him a passer. He was made a passer a few times. I mean, I think the best thing is to take the ball out of his hand. But you said what our weakness is. Our weakness is him not having the ball. If he can't get on the field, if you got time of possession, if you running the ball, which I hope we're able to stop, but we do have a smaller linebacker in Kobe Dean, which I need maybe Christian Ellis to come in and maybe at some point feed the hole to try to slow it down. But that's the best option for me. If Jalen Hurts ain't on the field, making him a passer, I don't think is the solution. Making him a runner, I don't think it's the solution. I think him off the field and you making the defense get tired. You know what I'm saying? The longer you got the ball, the harder it is to score. And if you get like that, then that plays in the ball game of a Bill Belichick or in the Patriots' hand. If we ain't got the ball, if it's close game, we fighting in the trenches. Yeah, I mean, y'all have a proven running back right now. We got none. Let's be real. We got running backs that everybody would say has injury
Running back
histories,
by
and
committee, basically, with y'all.
we don't have a guy you're gonna be like, hey, he finna come in here and give you 35 carries. He finna go for 115 yards. If Jalen Hurts can't do it, that's the only way I think y'all can beat us with time possession. It has to be very slanted. Because if we got the opportunities to move the ball and be on the field, then we know the outcome of the game.
Yeah, I don't. I think for me, I don't really think it's about keeping Jalen Hurts in the pocket. I think he throws the football very well from the pocket. I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league throwing the football from the pocket. I think what they really need to do, for one, is they need to take away his gap when it comes to some of the zone read runs or like the RPOs that they run. You have to take. I kind of like exactly what Smitty said. You want him to put him in a situation where he's handing off that ball to the running back instead of taking it himself because he's the best runner on the team. And you got to live with whatever those running backs get, which they'll probably do well. It's kind of like choosing between two bad scenarios, but at the end of the day, if it's for me, I want the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands. I want it in the hands of somebody else, and hopefully I can get there and make the tackle. That's the best chance you have. It's a tough path. That Eagles offense is tough to figure out because they have so many different ways that they can put you in that bind because of that run game and like the pass game. So it kind of is what it is. You're going to have to live with what you're going to live with. They're going to score. That's just a given.
Just like Gene said, man. Shout out to Gene. Basically, you gotta pick your poison at this point. You have to pick your poison with Jalen Hurts. But his success is basically off of that offensive line. Once again, that's the strength. And if he has that much time to make a decision, and has that much time to actually know where the blitz is coming from, or know where he has the best option at, he's going to take that every single time. You got Rashad Penny, you got Kenneth Gainwell, you got DeAndre Swift, and then you might throw in the Boston Scott in there. We got guys that can attack that weak point that you guys both pointed out in the middle of your defensive line. So we can attack that, especially with a Jason Kelsey there. They're going to follow that block, and as long as they follow that block, that's going to open it up, man. Because now, if we go up double-digit scores or so forth, now you got Bill Belichick kind of like trying to figure it out throughout the game, and that could actually cause more havoc than anything because now we exploit y'all weaknesses, and then we got to counter for whatever y'all come back and counter with, and that's the whole thing on offense. On defense, I really believe that these young guys is ready to play. You got the Jalen Carters, the Nolan Smith, and the Kobe Deans. You got Jordan Davis, the Philly Dogs is what we call them. Then on top of that, you got the vets that's ready to get back to the Super Bowl and be in Vegas. So this is just step one. I really believe that, with y'all line that y'all said is, decent, y'all give them a C, B minus. I really believe that they can't hold that blitz for so long. They might not be able to hold it all together because you think you got Hassan good. Here comes Josh Sweat. Here comes Jordan Davis. Here comes Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith. The list goes on and on. It's almost unbearable, and you guys are putting in packages to try to contain us. Almost, it's not even try to just beat us; just try to contain us to make it a game, to make it a winnable game. We already know that on what we have now, personnel wise, that we can actually go out there and exploit our weaknesses. We've been doing it all last year, even though a lot of people said last year we had a weak schedule. I really believe this year is going to be the same scenario. We're going to expose the weakness to the opposing team, and then what happens is teams try to adjust. It's too late. It's too late. Now you got to worry about Jalen Hurts running. You worry about Jalen Hurts running, Here comes A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith in the slant. Or Dallas Goedert catching out the backfield and basically getting yards after catch. It's too much going on with this offense to actually try to figure out. My only weakness, honestly, and I think that y'all going to try to exploit that in the beginning of the game, and that's why I was pointing at you when you said it, Ken. Cam Jurgens. I think y'all going to try to attack that because he's out of the whole line. He's the weakest link, but he is between two Hall of Famers in Kelsey and Lane Johnson. So I really believe that y'all going to try to attack that. I don't think it's not going to work, but I think
Kelsey
that
gonna
y'all going
read
to try
it.
to attack that first.
I
Y'all going to
thought the
try to
same
attack that
thing,
first.
DV. I thought the same thing because I was like, dang, that's the only spot you really can bring it and see what he made of. Can he stand still? But I think if they coming down those type of lanes right there, I think Kelsey being there and Lane being there is going to be a little bit of help, man, because they're going to make sure they help him out. They're not just going to let him just get ran over. Even if it's one-on-one, they're going to find a way to get a hand in there to deter a little movement. You got to worry about yours, but you got to make sure that young man ain't just sitting there in the middle just getting killed. We didn't do it last year. I mean, people can say what they want to about Alisea Malu and the rest of the line, Landon Dickerson. I watched Mulata a lot last year. Need Landon Dickerson help to keep from getting killed.
Yeah,
That's what I pride myself on about our offensive line. It ain't about how sturdy we is. It's about the knowledge of the game and being able to help each other. It's a brotherhood up front. I think they will bring a lot of those stunts. I don't think it'll be pressure. I think it'll be more of the movement of their defensive line. Bringing a Jude on from one end back in to Cam, seeing if he could pick things up like that and actually know what's going on around him.
Yeah, and that's going to be all on the offensive coordinator, Brian Johnson, seeing that, reading that. Also, Jalen Hurts being able to change, like he said today. He said that he's more comfortable, making those decisions to, mix up the play a little bit if something doesn't look right. I really believe that he's going to pick that up too. To be able like, oh, he's going to get beat here, and just foreseeing what's going to happen before it happens and being able to attack somewhere else like we did against the 49ers last season. So we really need to reiterate some of that, because I already know Bill Belichick, hell of a coach, Hall of Fame coach. He's going to try to throw everything at us. And he already said that, Jalen Hurts, he respect them. And anytime guys both say that they respect each other, they're going to go at each other. And this is going to be one of those games that we're going to be talking about like, that Pats defense is real. It's they only need this, because, the AFC East, we don't talk about that enough, but the AFC East is very tight. It's very tight. And, the Pats was once, the top dog, and now it's more so that you talk about the Bills, they're talking about the Dolphins, now the Jets with Aaron Rodgers over there. So I just want to see what these guys do after this game. How both teams bounce after this game. But overall, I do think we're going to come out victorious.
Okay, so we can get into the predictions of the game, man. I know it's been a lot of back and forth of who can win and who's gonna win.
Yeah.
But Ken, go ahead, give me who win and what's the score.
After thinking about it, been wearing my option, doing my shows this week, then came up here to do this show. I like how you guys talking. I like what I see on film from the Eagles and from last year to this year. But Eagles clearly better than the Patriots. Clearly talented. Y'all talented where we weak are. Y'all are much talented where we are weak at. I don't know. I just feel good about this game, man. I'm probably the only one out here to pick my boys, but I feel good about it. I'm gonna go 27-24 last second field goal, Patriots.
I got a 28-20 Eagles. I think 2 touchdowns, a couple of field goals for the Patriots, but I think the Eagles going to pull this one out.
DV, you can have first. I couldn't figure out which way I was going.
right now, like I said, it's going to be one of those funky first week games. Is everybody's happy football's back. After seeing probably tomorrow, the Detroit Pistons, the Detroit Lions versus the Kansas City Chiefs. After seeing that, everybody's going to be happy to be on the field. Especially all the ones and everything like that, and it's a meaningful game. With that being said, I think that it's going to be 28-17. Eagles come out with the victory.
All right, so I think it's gonna be. I think it could be close early, right? I think it could get in one of those situations where it's close. I see all the 40 burgers, all that. It's nice, but I think we know our team better than anybody else, right? And even when it get out there and it gets, if it was to get nasty, say we was up 28 at 28 to something at third quarter, we ain't going out there to get 12 points, bro. We don't stat pad. Game over. So I got us 28-17 Eagles.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a good game overall, man. I think that both teams going to bring it early. It's all about who's going to execute in adjustments, and I think that's where it's going to come down to. I don't think that we can question Bill Belichick, being able to adjust, but we can sit up there and try to assume that Sean Desai is going to adjust. You can assume that Brian Johnson is going to be able to adjust certain things, but we got to see it on the field at the end of the day. Us as Eagles fans, yes, we do know our guys, we know our team, we very well educated on our squad, but let's be honest, we got to see this on the floor. I mean, on the field, not the floor, the field. So, with that being said, everything that's going to be out there is going to tell us what route we're moving into, and basically how they're going to utilize the personnel that we do have, because we know what we have in the personnel. So I hope it's a great game, man. I'm happy that you guys came out. Thank you guys again for coming out. Jude, Ken, man, it's always a pleasure, man. But I'm just happy that football is back.
Yes, sir.
I'm happy that we get to talk about this week in and week out on y'all respective fan bases, our respective fan base. I'm just happy that we get to talk about it. So thank y'all guys for coming out.
It's been a long stretch, boy.
I appreciate y'all, man, for having me on.
It's been a long stretch, man. I appreciate y'all for coming out too, man. It's hard to find other fan bases that's actually out here doing content.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily more of a content creator. I'm more of like I just analyze football. I finished my PhD in data science recently, and I did my presentation using football data. So I always love to talk ball. Man, to come out, no problem.
Well, y'all boys got anything y'all want to, y'all got coming out this week? Or I know Jude just said he's not really a content creator, but Ken, you got something coming out this week?
I'm doing another. I'm gonna have a couple more nights to sleep on this. I'm doing another prediction show on Friday on my Ken's Patriots podcast. The link, the name right there.
The link is in the description. The link is in the description.
Appreciate it. I appreciate that. My final show gonna be Friday. Saturday gonna chill, watch some college football, and Sunday wake up, get ready for the game at 4. I keep forgetting we play at 4:25 CBS. So it should be a good game, man. I can't wait. I've been ready for this game since the schedule came out. I can't wait, man. I don't know. I don't know, man. I just feel this game. I don't know what we'll see Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
What you got coming out, DV? What you working on?
Man, we got a couple other things that's going on. We got another practice tomorrow at 10:40. Because it's going to be extremely hot here in Philadelphia. So we got that. I'm gonna probably come out with a recorded video, and then try to chill out with the fan for a little bit, and then next week is going to be heavy for us because we got the game, the after show, and then we're gonna hit them with what we're gonna hit them with next week. So I'm trying to chill out, and I'm happy that like I said, once again, the guys came out to the point where we can talk about week 1 and then move forward to the next game. So yeah, I'm just gonna be like putting things out there, you know, any news, rumors, things like that. King DB Sports, everybody that subscribed to me know what it is. I always talk about the birds, and that's what it is. So you know, it could just pop out. You know, it got to be more consistent, but it's gonna be popping out.
Yeah, I got a
What
couple
you got
videos
coming up?
coming this week. I got a couple
Yeah.
videos coming this week, man, but nothing too major because like I'm really just anticipating the game, man. I got so much stuff working on like pre-game, post-game. I got
Mhm.
spaces coming at halftime. Like that's what me and if y'all looking for me and Jude, y'all bet off finding us probably on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? At
Mhm.
X, my bad, Elon X. You know, we
Yeah.
be in spaces, man. We open dialogue spaces, man. You coming in, kind of get your team, man. You know, if you wherever you catch us at, it's pretty much a dialogue of multiple teams in there, man. So you can
Yeah.
kind of get it in.
During the season, like definitely give me like a follow. My ad name Supreme,
Mhm.
right there on the screen. I tend to be in more. I don't really gamble myself, but I calculate a lot of money line bets, prop bets with the crew of us who know ball, understand it at like a high level. So definitely give me a follow. I'll be in some spaces just talking about that. I also host some Patriot spaces with people who actually like know what they're talking about. A bunch of straight shooters who understand scheme and statistics and how like they work together. It's all about exchanging information and teaching people like that ball is not Madden. It's not Madden. There's matchups involved. There's like the give and takes of how defenses and offenses work. And it's all about explaining that and getting that information out to fans so that they actually know what they're talking about when they're having conversations and don't sound crazy.
Hey,
Yeah.
do y'all do watch parties?
We do, but
Watch parties.
we do watch parties. It's play by play, bro. Play by play. Watch
Yeah,
parties.
play by plays. Yeah, yeah.
Hey, and if y'all play Madden, y'all text me y'all name. We can get it in.
All right, bet.
I'm in my uncle mode now, man. My nephew, my 16-year-old nephew, beat me in the Madden game last October. I haven't touched the stick since, man. I got one foot in the grave, man.
Yeah, man. So we're gonna, maybe sometime soon we can be meeting back up. Be talking about us meeting in the Super Bowl. You know, that's.
Hey, we'll see. Hey, we'll see.
But from me to DV, man, Inside the Nets, we appreciate y'all, man. But we gonna get up out of here, man.
Yes, sir.
Until
Appreciate
next
it.
time, people.
But to tell me I came out with DeAndre Swift over
That point
Bijan.
where Jordan Davis just, still play the same